Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, I see their founder released twice a day. Guys, he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase. Go to toppingtechnologies.com to learn more. Also, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have the Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares saying he will retire in 2026. That is it 2026 yet? Because things have not been going well over there. Now, reminder for those who aren't automotive enthusiasts or they don't really follow the community that much, a lot of Americans I don't think have heard of Stellantis. It's been a couple years since they had that new name. Unfortunately, Chrysler, which also owned Jeep as well as Dodge, they went bankrupt in 2009, and at that point, Fiat, the European conglomerate, as well as an individual brand, they bought them out, which was sad because, passing of the torch, so to say, and Chrysler, before Tesla, was the only successful American automotive startup for almost 100 years. We'll see if Rivian makes a profit at the end of the day and actually stays in business. Time shall tell. But with Fiat, that brand, the Fiat Group, or Fiat Chrysler America, how they were called here, well, they decided to go with a new name called Stellantis, which, for how many European and how many Italian companies they own, sounds kind of like an Italian fancy name, Stellantis, perhaps. But nevertheless, they have about 15 to 17 automotive brands in their portfolio right now, and they are destroying Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, I believe. And you look at the North American profits, it's down about 50%. Dealerships are irate, customers are irate, all around not doing good. Perhaps perhaps taking the heart out of the company, or taking the heart out of the patient as they're on the examination table is not a prudent thing to do. I say that because one of the things that they destroyed, to me, was the thing they were known for best. The good old Hemi, the V8 engine, American muscle, the Dodge Charger, the Dodge Challenger, with engines probably the size of a Fiat, or damn near close, and they respect their customers enough to give good old stick shift, as I would argue all vehicles should have by default. But they decided, and again, I understand this is partially because the government bullying them with EPA mandates, all this kind of stuff. So I understand why they're making EVs, but they decided to go all in on a lot of EVs. The new Charger is going to be a plug-in, and eventually they'll have a straight six turbo engine, which they're cramming that into everything these days, which is good for a BMW. A straight six with a stick shift, that's awesome. But yeah, when you're coming from, again, the hemispherical, the Hemi engine, going to a straight six automatic, pretty anemic to say the least, and not what enthusiasts really want. And it's gotten to the point where the CEO is finally saying, well, I'm going to step away. And keep in mind, the shareholders, more often than not, shareholders will approve salary and compensation packages by the executives. It's pretty rare for them to push back, actually, especially when the CEOs are doing well, leading the company, increasing the stock price, getting more dividends out. Usually everybody's hunky-dory, as my grandpa probably would have said. But Stellantis, there's such turmoil there. The investors, what was it, last year, voted down his compensation package, which that's when you know you're making some pretty big mistakes. Now, this comes to us thanks to The Verge, specifically Umar, who's a writer over there. They say specifically, quote, Stellantis CEO promises to leave in 2026 after making a mostly mess of things. Now, they say that Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares is replacing the company's CFO, North American COO, as struggling to handle the business. So, yeah, things aren't going great. And here you can see, visual warning, I'm sorry, this will hurt your eyes. The new Dodge Charger, which at least it's a coupe, I'll give them that much, but yeah, it's electric. Apparently they'll have some exhaust sounds. So that's it'll be nice speakers in there. Ridiculous, but Michelle 18 prospective customers will love that specific vehicle. Now, they say, quote, Stellantis is shaking up their leadership. The company announced he will end his contract at 2026 and lead the company. Now, they say the changes come as Stellantis struggles to maintain the U.S. auto business, which again is one of the most important markets in the world. In fact, one of the reasons so many companies are acquiescing to debatably boring technology like EVs is because of California. California alone is the 10th largest automotive area on the planet. It's bigger than most countries. That's why it has so much of an influence on the automotive community. And again, North America is one of the most important markets for all automotive brands. Now, they say, quote, this comes as they struggle to maintain U.S. auto business, which includes Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram, which don't get me started on the marketing of them having a quote-unquote spin-off with Dodge, the new Dodge Ram now just being Ram, which, I don't know, I think is insulting to the Dodge brothers, which is incidentally one of my favorite books I read this year. Or is it? Simply put, it's called The Dodge Brothers, and I usually read a book a month, usually business or philosophy of politics. Let me know you'd be interested for me to do a book of the month, or if I put the description or the URL to the book in the description of the show. A little ADHD as usual. Now, again, one of the biggest issues with this, which again they're so bad, such a bad decision, they decided to have the Ram 1500 truck, which again is one of the most popular trucks in North America. North America is dominated by the U.S. automotive community. You have good old Ford, or the Ford F-250, 350, 450, 150. You have the Chevrolet 1500, 2500, 3500. Yes, you do have GMC 1500. It's the same thing. But again, the big three traditionally dominated truck sales in North America. And then Dodge, Ram, Stellantis decided, you know what? Instead of the V8 that Americans love and they appreciate as truck drivers, well, we're going to have the new Dodge 1500, the Ram 1500 truck. We're going to kill the V8. So that now comes with the same turbocharged straight six that's in all the other bastardized vehicles in Stellantis portfolio, which does decrease cost, but also decrease sales because people don't want that on average. I actually had a couple of my friends who bought Ram trucks lately in the past couple of years, and they actually intentionally made sure they got one of the last 1500s with the V8. Now, if you want a V8 pickup truck from Stellantis Group, or the Stellantis portfolio, it has to be the Ram 2500 or 3500, which again is going to be even more expensive as well. Which again, all the math will say, oh yeah, the the straight six is just as much towing torque and all that kind of stuff as the old V8. Yes, but in terms of longevity of the product, again, I'm not an engineer by any means, but a lot of truck owners, a lot of automotive enthusiasts would rather have a larger engine working less hard than a smaller engine working harder for the same results. And especially with truck drivers, it is a huge culture. It's one of those things where people buy a truck partially just because their grandpa had the same brand, same trim line, and because they have the same engine. So when I think of why Stellantis is struggling so much, I think those are two of the biggest factors. You also have way too many brands under the portfolio. I mean, Alfa Romeo, which I do appreciate, they have some cool stuff. That's also one of the brands they own that's struggling in the U.S. And it's just been terrible. Now, they say the company was they said Tavares led Stellantis at the company's inception in 2021, which again, that was the merger between Fiat Chrysler and Peugeot. While the company was profitable in 2023, it's been slow to adopt to EVs compared to other automakers. Are they high, or sorry, inebriated at the verge? That's not why they're doing so bad. Because again, the fastest growing product category in the United States for automotive industry is, well, hybrids. Not that I'm a fan, but that's where most consumers are starting to kind of look towards and purchase more of, not EVs. That adoption rate is decreasing, actually, though the sales overall are increasing. But yeah, I actually don't think that's the main reason. Like, not having enough EVs, that's not why they're hurting. Now, they also have the United Auto Workers, which is the union for the automotive community. They're accusing Stellantis of not upholding contract agreements when they're saying they might have to outsource some things to Mexico, as well as actually ending the production of certain of their products. So I was about to say I don't know how they turn it around, but I have a couple ideas. I'm not sure. They're not by no means guaranteed, but one would be give the people the V8 they want. That would certainly help. Make fewer. Unfortunately, it's kind of sad because I love automotive history, and I just think there's too many brands in North America. I mean, with Fiat alone, that one brand, I've seen about 18 on the road the past decade. They had their moment, don't get me wrong, but I think they probably operated at a loss in terms of just the cost of having that in the US and selling them. I think they need to trim their portfolio to give people what they want. And then again, it's rough, but you have to decrease your cost of goods sold. It also means decreasing your labor. Perhaps it means introducing automation. But yes, it's very interesting. The CEO's, stepping down. It'll be interesting to see what his succession plan looks like. Because again, people want results now. Automotive community, especially the automotive industry, especially is a kind of a long cycle in terms of getting things done. But let me know, do you think, would you give him another, if you're a shareholder, especially let me know, would you give him another year, a couple of years to turn things around? Or do you think he's had his time, it's not going great? Let me know in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.